Golvellius was the first Master System game I bought way after the console was discontinued. 8-bit games were particularly cheap at the time, and with me owning a Game Gear and a Master Gear converter, I was looking at the Master System libraries for a gaming experience on a budget. And also because I already went through all my Master System games at that point. You know, most of the Master System games I had, I could beat like in less than 30 minutes. So I was looking for something new. I asked my brother if he knew about any Master System games that would take longer, something with a bit more depth, a little bit more content. He basically told me about this game called Golvellius, that it kind of plays like Zelda, and it did take him a long time to beat back in the day. After hearing that, I was convinced. I went to my local mom and pop store, and sure enough, there it was. Golvellius and the Valley of Doom, complete in box. So I waited one Sunday afternoon after church, and I went ahead and bought it. Golvellius is all over the place. That's not to say that it's bad, but the gameplay is not consistent. In the overworld, you explore, fight monsters, talk to NPCs, buy items, gather money, and ultimately find the crystal necessary to progress to the next part of the map. This is all done in overhead perspective, and it plays a lot like Legend of Zelda. There are NPCs present in nearly every screen, hiding in holes that can be accessed in a variety of ways. Either by killing a number of monsters, striking at a rock or a tree with a sword, or just by automatically entering to the next screen. These variety of characters will either sell you items, heal your wounds, take some of your health for money, or give you a hint to your next goal. Or in the case of Rio the fairy, messing with you and basically just wasting your time by either insulting you or criticizing you in what you're looking at right now. Where Golvellius really detracts from a lot of its contemporaries is the dungeons. Unlike most adventure games of this type, the actual gameplay changes from exploration to either vertical scrolling or horizontal platformer. These stages aren't particularly difficult, though it is necessary to take the correct path forward, otherwise you'll end up restarting the dungeon all over again. Though one criticism I have about these dungeons is they seem somewhat lacking. I would love to see a better platforming or combat in the vertical scrolling stages. and have the auto-scrolling sections have a better layout. Though I imagine the reason why the game it is probably due to lack of ROM space or programming limitations. Controls are good for the most part. Your character is regulated to moving up, down, left, and right, and attacking with button 1 on the overworld. However, the method of control is quite burdensome in later portions of the game, when the environment becomes more maze-like, and especially when enemies have unusual attack patterns. Luckily, you'll be able to move diagonally during boss fights, so that task won't really be much of an issue. The tunes in Golvellius is some of the best music ever done on the Master System. There are various tracks that play throughout your time in the overworld, changing every time you acquire either a new shield or a sword, and each song gives off a strong feeling rhythm, emphasizing the importance of the journey that you're on. It definitely keeps the game from feeling stale, and for anyone that's playing on this with either a Mega SD or EverDrive Pro on the Genesis, you can enable FM sound for alternate sounding tracks. Though if you want to hear the FM sound on the Master System, you need to install an FM mod on your console. Now this game makes good use of the Master System's color palette. Everything from the sprites to the background are bright and really stand out. The background tiles have a nice level of detail that enhance the appearance of the environment you're in. The NPC portraits are also well drawn and captures the characters' personalities. Though if there's one thing I have to criticize, it would be the lack of animation. Though I can't really not get any points because it is an 8-bit game and there are a lot of different kinds of monsters in this game. Golvellius' presentation is pretty good, especially for the era. There are pre-game cutscenes that explain the story, and it does have a decent ending. Even the item screen looks neat, though it is a pain having to walk up and push pause on the console every time you want to see it. And there you have it, guys. Golvellius Valley of Doom for the Sega Master System. I gotta give this game a B. It's an awesome game with a lot of content, a lot of explorations, items to find, weapons to get. It's just a very unique experience. Granted, it doesn't play exactly like a Zelda kind of game, but it's close enough and I still had fun with it. This game takes around 2 hours to beat, and well, I do have to point out that I'm not a fan of the password save feature that they talk about right here. I wish they would have used a battery because the password on this thing is long. 32 characters long to be precise, and yeah, it's not fun having to write all that stuff down back in the day. But luckily, I used my phone to take a picture of the password, and that's how I progressed through that playthrough, by the way. You can find this game for around $80, you know, complete in box, and around $40 loose. So just be prepared for that if you want to play this on either your Genesis or Master System, or your Game Gear if you have one of those Master System to Game Gear cartridge adapters. Anyway, this was Knockout 21. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And like always, have a good one. Take care, guys.